Welcome to Glorious English. If you want to learn English while enjoying emotional stories, stay with me till the end. Today's story is The Queen Who Fell in Love with Her Bodyguard, a story of forbidden love, palace secrets, and suspense that will touch your heart. Read slowly, feel every moment, and learn real-life English through this story of courage, loyalty, and hidden emotions. My name is Isabella. I am the queen of this small kingdom, but my life feels lonely. I have power, but no one truly understands me. One morning, a new bodyguard arrived at the palace. His name was Leo. He was tall, strong, and calm with kind eyes. When he bowed to me, something stirred in my heart I didn't understand. I told myself it was just respect. But every time I saw him, my thoughts grew strange. That night I couldn't sleep, imagining what it would be like if someone truly cared for me. Leo worked quietly, always observing. He noticed small details, the way I frowned, the books I read, the way I walked in the garden. One afternoon I dropped a letter by mistake, and he picked it up without asking. His fingers brushed mine. I felt warmth I never expected. I looked at him, and he smiled gently. "Your Highness," he said, bowing slightly. My heart raced. I told myself to ignore it, but I couldn't. Something about his calm presence made me feel safe for the first time in years. Days passed. Leo followed orders, but sometimes lingered nearby. During a banquet, he stood behind me, watching the guests. I noticed the way he moved quietly, ready to protect me. That evening, in the moonlight, he handed me a cup of tea. Our fingers touched again. I whispered, "Thank you." He looked into my eyes. For a second, time stopped. A chill wind blew through the palace garden. I shivered, but not from the cold. I realized my heart was starting to betray me, feeling something I had never felt for a guard before. If you're enjoying the story, hit the like button and share it. Your support helps us bring more cinematic English stories. One night, the palace alarms rang. A thief had tried to enter. Leo grabbed my hand and pulled me to safety behind a curtain. My heart pounded as we crouched together. "Are you hurt, Your Highness?" he whispered. I shook, trying to stay calm. "No, I'm fine," I said. His hand lingered near mine for a moment too long. I could feel his warmth, and my face burned. That night, even after the danger passed, I could not stop thinking about him. Every shadow, every whisper reminded me of him. Something dangerous yet exciting had begun. The next morning, I walked in the garden alone. Leo followed quietly. He handed me a small flower from the royal greenhouse. "For you," he said softly. I felt my chest tighten. I smiled, pretending to be polite, but inside I was confused. My heart ached for someone I could not openly love. Suddenly, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A rival kingdom was moving troops near our border. My mind raced. I looked at Leo. His eyes were steady, unwavering. In that moment, I realized he was not just a bodyguard. He was my shield, my courage, and perhaps my heart. For days, we trained and prepared for the possible attack. Leo stayed close, always alert. One evening, while we practiced sword drills, his hand brushed mine. I froze. He looked at me and I saw worry, respect, and something deeper in his eyes. I had to look away, but a strange warmth stayed inside me. The palace felt heavy with tension. I knew the rival army could strike at any moment. And yet, every time I caught Leo's gaze, I felt a secret hope. Could love exist even in danger? The attack came suddenly one night. Arrows flew across the palace grounds. Leo pulled me down, shielding me with his body. My heart pounded. I could hear the clash of swords and the shouts of guards. His hand held mine tightly. "Stay behind me," he whispered. I nodded, but fear mixed with a strange thrill. The enemy retreated after hours of struggle, but I realized something important. I trusted Leo with my life. And my heart had already chosen him, whether I dared to admit it or not. In the quiet after the attack, the palace felt different. Leo stayed by my side, helping me walk through the damaged halls. Every touch, every glance felt electric. That evening, he offered me his coat against the chill. I accepted, and he hesitated, brushing his fingers against mine. Your Highness, you are brave, he said softly. My cheeks burned. I wanted to speak, to tell him how I felt, but fear stopped me. What would happen if the kingdom knew? If the court saw? My heart and my duty were now in conflict. Days later, I found a secret letter in the palace library. It warned that someone close was planning betrayal. I panicked and ran to Leo. He read it carefully and nodded. We will protect you, he said, holding my hand briefly. My chest tightened. I realized that danger was not just outside, but inside the palace, too. Leo's steady presence calmed me, yet made me aware of the forbidden feelings growing between us. That night, I watched him sleep near the armory. I wondered if I would ever confess my heart without fear. During a royal feast, whispers spread about a traitor in the palace. Leo stayed close, whispering updates to me. I felt safe, yet exposed. Later in the garden, he pulled me aside. Isabella, I must tell you something, he said urgently. My heart raced. What is it? I asked. Suddenly, we heard footsteps behind the hedges. A shadow moved, and we froze. Leo drew his sword. The tension was unbearable. Who was spying? My hand shook in his. That night, we shared a fleeting glance, full of unspoken words, and I knew danger and desire had become inseparable. The next day, a secret plot was revealed. A trusted advisor was conspiring with the enemy. Leo and I worked together to stop him. Every small step, sneaking through halls, gathering guards, decoding messages, brought us closer. Our hands brushed repeatedly. I wanted to tell him my feelings, but the palace eyes were everywhere. In the end, we caught the traitor. Relief filled us, but also an ache. I realized the bond between us was stronger than duty, and my heart had made its choice, even if the world could not see. Weeks passed. Peace returned to the kingdom, but the tension between us did not fade. Leo and I found moments alone. A shared tea, a walk in the orchard, a quiet conversation by the fountain. Every touch, every glance was full of longing. One rainy evening, he held my hand as we watched the storm. I cannot ignore what I feel for you, he whispered. I shivered, my heart pounding. Neither can I admitted softly. The world outside could never know, but in that moment nothing mattered but the truth between us. Just as we began to explore our feelings, a new threat arose. The neighboring kingdom sent envoys, demanding allegiance. The court grew suspicious of our closeness. Rumors swirled. I feared exposure, and Leo feared for me. We planned secretly, discussing strategy, every touch cautious. Yet in the quiet of the night, our hands lingered, our eyes met, and hearts spoke in silence. Each small glance was a promise. Each secret meeting carried tension. And every plan we made for the kingdom made our love feel more dangerous and more real. Finally, the enemy was defeated with the help of our loyal guards. Leo had led the mission bravely. I watched him return, muddy and tired, yet smiling. I ran to him and embraced him tightly. You risked everything for me, I whispered. He held me close. Always, he said. That night, Under the stars in the quiet palace gardens, we shared a real kiss for the first time. Fear, duty, and longing intertwined. Our love had survived war, betrayal, and courtly eyes. It felt forbidden, but more beautiful than anything I had known. Months later, the kingdom was safe, and peace settled over the palace. Leo remained my protector, my friend, and now my love. We walked through the garden daily, shared small smiles, and held hands when no one watched. I realized I had found someone who cared for me beyond duty, who saw my heart. Love had entered a life of rules and crowns. Together we faced danger, shared secrets, and created happiness quietly. My heart no longer felt lonely. Leo was my shield, my courage, and my home, and finally I could breathe freely, knowing love had found its way. Thank you for watching. Comment below which part of the Queen's story touched you the most. Subscribe to Glorious English for more simple, emotional stories that teach real English. See you in the next story.